I got a question about low B and C on the flute, so let's take a look at that today. So first thing to know, low C we can all play with every flute. Low B means that you're going to need to have that third key on your foot joint. So if you don't have that, then you're not going to be able to play a low B. So check that first. The next thing to think about is whether or not your flute has gone into the shop recently. So if you cannot remember the last time it went in to a flute shop, it probably needs to go. And this doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean that you're treating your flute badly. Flutes just need regular maintenance, just like a car would need an oil change or new tires every once in a while or new brakes, that kind of thing. It's just because the flute is a machine and it has parts, and sometimes those parts get misaligned or worn out and they just need to be maintained. So your flute does need to go into the shop every once in a while just to make sure that it's continuing to work the way that you want it to. So what does that have to do with low notes? So your foot joint a lot of times can get misaligned. It can get leaks in it. The pads sometimes need to be replaced. So if you look under the keys, you can see the pads there. These mine look okay, but it's been to the shop pretty recently. If your pads are discolored, if they're torn, if they're made out of felt and you can see some of the felt sort of rubbing off a little bit or fuzzy, extra fuzzy, then you might need to have some of those pads replaced as well. So when you close the key, you're supposed to get a good seal there. And if there's space like this, if you close the key all the way down and you have space like this, or even smaller, we can't always see leaks in the flute, you definitely need to take it in for adjustment, because it doesn't matter what you're doing, you're not going to be able to get those low notes. You can't overcompensate, or you can't compensate for leaks in your foot joint. So a lot of times what people will do is they'll try to force it. They'll squeeze really hard on the keys, which is going to do more damage. They try to just blow more air. They try to have a really tight embouchure, blow really fast air, blow tons of air. But if you've got a leak or some kind of misalignment in the foot joint, none of that will compensate. So if your flute is in alignment and you know that it's not the instrument that's causing you to have trouble with those notes, we can start looking at other things. So the first thing is going to be to make sure that we've got our fingers correct. So for the low notes, basically almost the entire tube is closed off. So in the left hand, 1, 2, 3, and thumb is down. In the right hand, 1, 2, 3 is down. And then depending on the note that we're playing, we're going to play one of these keys here. So for example, we know E flat, right? This is going to be C sharp. That first key there closes the first key closest to you. And then we're going to roll. So if we want to play C, we need to close both of these keys, right? So both of those are down. And if I want to play B, I've got to roll and close that third key. So this is C sharp, this is C, and this is B. So let's try C. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to blow slow air. I'm going to blow lots of it, but slow air, and I'm going to point it down into the tube with the muscles here. So I'm not going to blow across a lot. I'm not going to blow super fast air, because then it will overblow. So it's going to be slow air, but lots of it, and pointed downward with that muscle. And if I want to play B, I'm going to do basically the same thing. That was C sharp, C, B. So it can be a little bit difficult to just jump right in and play those notes. So what I recommend that you do is start on a note that's comfortable. A lot of times G will work. And then I'm just going to play down the chromatic scale and notice the tiny incremental changes here and the embouchure that are necessary to keep the notes going. So, oh, need to change there. All right, give that a try. Let me know how it works for you. Let me know what else you're struggling with.